Where are we going? Is this me? It is another month in my backyard, and this month I have big plans. The big plan that I have for this month is I'm going to try to build a walking path in my yard on my own. I know I could probably hire someone to do it for like $10,000. Everything costs $10,000 now, and I just don't have it. So I'm going to try to do this myself, and I think it's going to be a learning experience. Maybe it won't be fun, but it's going to be a learning experience. So the first step to building a path is you need to call to make sure that you can dig in your yard. So if you buy a house, you may get like a little piece of literature in the mail that says like, call before you dig. And here in New York, you have to call 811. I tried calling 811 and it told me to go online. So I went online, I filled out a form, and this form is like daunting. Like, I don't want to excavate like the middle of the road, but it has options for that. Still, I filled it out and I just left a note just like, I'm just gardening. Like, they said that within, I think, 3 business days somebody would come. And I was just like, there's no way anybody's going to come to my place in 3 days. And they came. Not while I was here, but they came. And I could tell that they came because they like spray painted my yard to show where pipes were. And yeah, thankfully there were no pipes in my backyard, but they spray painted in my front yard. So yeah, it doesn't affect me. It is getting quite weedy back here. Can't even find some of the rocks I put down. So I think the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go through with a rake, and I'm going to try to like rake up all the debris that's in here. I'm doing this for a couple of reasons. I think this will be, better to get all the stuff out of the way to make it cleaner, but also will help me find rocks like this, because I'm going to come through with my mower next, and it's just a push mower. Don't have to worry too much about it, but yeah, it's probably not a great idea for me to hit these with my push mower. There's a lot of rocks in my backyard. Yeah, there's another big one right there. And since I am lining this just with regular rocks, it's my plan. I'm not going to get pavers or anything. I'm just going to use rocks. I may find a few that I can use along the way. So yeah, doing a little treasure hunting at the same time. Okay, this kind of sucks to do with one hand, so I'm going to turn the camera off. And by the way, I do like using my little manual lawnmower. These are convenient, they're cheap, they don't take a lot of space. I think they're perfectly fine. You don't have to like fill it up with gas or anything. The one thing that I wish I did get though is a little grass catcher for the back of it. Certain models have that included, but the one I have, it just like shoots grass everywhere. So after I'm done cutting it, I have to go through with a rake and rake everything up. It's a pain. So I am now going through and measuring the space between the rocks to make sure that it is uniform. I've decided to space these out at, it's a little dark, around 70 centimeters. Okay, that just looks right to me. I feel like 2 feet might be okay, but maybe it's a little too short. People say online to go like 3 or 4 feet across, which seems like too much to me. I just want a little walking path. I don't need it to be that big. I'm not going to be taking lots of equipment on it or anything. Normally, when you build a path, you put edging around it, like either pavers or some like metal edging, just so like the gravel has somewhere to go. I decided to do this the cheap way and just use rocks that are in my yard and line it with that. I feel like this is a good idea. It's going to have kind of like a natural sort of look. At least that's the idea. The problem I have though is that I do not have enough rocks in my yard to do the entire thing. I've got a lot of rocks back here, but not enough that are the right size. I need a lot of rocks for this, and I discovered a easy way to get them. Facebook Marketplace. There are a lot of people on Facebook Marketplace trying to desperately get rid of rocks because it costs money to remove rocks. So if someone's working on like a landscaping project, they got too much of it, they end up with like a giant mound of crap on their front yard, and they don't want to hire someone to remove it. Not all of them wanted to deal with me because I just wanted, a car full, not a truck full. But I did find somebody, and I went over and I spent about an hour digging out like good stones and putting it into the back of my car. Hopefully that's enough. Now you can see that there's a lot of gaps between the stones that need to be filled in, but I did pretty well. I have an idea though where I can get some more stone. As you can see, like the stone wall here looks really, really good over here, but once I go around to the other side, this side is like not doing so hot, but it's like, it's okay. But then over here just is just a pile of rocks. So I think I actually want to go in here and tidy this up a little bit, finish the wall where it like actually goes all the way to that that planter there. So I'm gonna go through here and dig out rocks that are not nice like this, and those are gonna go in the path. Like already I can see like random paving stone. This is just like a chunk of cement. Here's a brick. All this is good. Some of these are like broken pavers. Yeah, I would rather have like some nice old stone in there and not just like cement. But in the path, I don't mind. And I think I have another idea on how I can get even more rocks out of this. Yeah, that's better. Okay, it is time to get rid of this mofo right here. To do that, long sleeves, gloves. I want to try to get the root out also. So let's see where this is going. See, there's another one right next to it. Yeah, so two. Okay. Got a paper bag. Put that in there just to keep it separate from the other weeds. And this root is like going along, creating more. So I'm gonna dig that out. Yeah, it's actually quite a lot of poison ivy. Okay. And that should do it. If it starts popping up again because the root's in there, I might take some like white vinegar and put that on there because that is supposed to kill the plant life. But I do want to grow other plants, so I don't want to like ruin the soil by putting white vinegar on the soil over here. So we're gonna see how that does. But yeah, I ended up getting quite a lot of it. Ugh. The next thing that I'm going to remove is from a suggestion from you viewers at home. Many people told me that I need to get rid of the Japanese barberry, which is this large plant here. I was just like, hey, barberry, like, isn't that something I can eat? I guess no. Barberries and Japanese barberries, those are different things. So I am going to remove this with this guy. This is not some like little garlic mustard. No, this is like a big hardy, what is that? Shrub? It's big. And there we go. Already getting a little bit more light here. Yeah, I just gotta clean this up a little bit. Maybe I can take the root out because it's just gonna pop up again, isn't it? Okay, so here are the tools that I have available to me. I'm going to go through first with an edger. Now it's not typically used for paths, but I think it would really help me get in the kind of depth that I want. I want to go down about like 4 inches to 6 inches. That's good. Yes, I'm going to go around the edge with that to kind of loosen things up. And then I'm going to shovel out the middle with that shovel. And then I'm going to use that rake to kind of even things out. And then I'm going to use a tamper to tamp down the soil to make it nice and compact. At least that's the idea. So the edger and the shovel were things that came with the property. It was already here. This rake and the tamper I had to buy. That was $25. That was about $20, so $45 worth of tools for me. And the stone that I bought cost about $350 for all the stone, including delivery. So talking about $400 for this entire project if I don't screw it up and have to hire a professional. Okay, here we go. My fear with digging out this path is that this is all just going to be a big boulder underneath this, and I'm not going to be able to get through it all. Let's find out. Moment of truth. Can I put my edger into the ground? A little bit. It is very hard. Yeah, there's a lot of rocks in here. Using the edger is not a bad idea. It is creating a nice solid line. I mean, usually people use a put down a rope, or they'll spray paint to get a line. Me, I'm not doing that. I'm just using the rocks because I'm lazy. But it's actually not looking too bad. Looks pretty straight. This is not going very deep. So I didn't go very far, but I edged about to that bend there. I'm just going to do one section at a time. And yeah, it's all rocks. Look at, you can even see them. Yeah, this is going to be a lot of work. Well, this sucks, but I did discover something, why the cats love my yard so much. Somebody's been planting catnip around here. And this is what 1 hour of work looks like. We've got a long way to go, long way to go. There is a silver lining though. There is a silver lining. I'm never gonna have to worry about rocks again. I've been making a pile of them over here. I actually dug up a whole paver. I don't want this month to just be me working on this path, though. I do want to do some other things. It's very easy to just like obsessively hack away at this thing because I want it to be done, but let me give you an update of everything else that's going around. The wintergreen is still holding strong. I went through and picked some more fruit out, but it seems pretty happy indoors. I'm thinking of planting it outside, but maybe not right away. The pawpaws are doing very well. The seeds are now lifting up out of the soil, and I guess like at some point they will naturally fall off, and some little leaves will take their place. But yeah, so these are doing really well. I guess at some point, maybe when the seeds fall off, I'll transplant them to bigger pots. The brassicas are still leggy, but they're getting bigger and they're starting to develop their secondary leaves. So their little leaves coming out of the top are the first leaves, but at the bottom there's like a little nub forming where some other leaves are going to come out. It's not quite there yet, but it is getting close. One thing that was recommended is that I set up a fan because one of the reasons why they get leggy is that they need to have wind hit them. And when wind pushes against the plant in nature, it like gets stronger. It like works that muscle. So they're not getting exercised. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to open up the window. That way a little bit of air can circulate, and hopefully that will help them not be so laggy. The sunflower that I planted here got attacked. I'm not sure what did it. Probably one of the cats, maybe a squirrel. But yeah, it got dug up, so that's gone. The Szechuan is doing really well. You can see a lot of little fruits on it already. And I guess like over time, these fruits will turn red, and then you can collect them and use them. The tune is developing a little bit of leaf in the middle, but towards the top, it's got a lot of leaves. I'm having trouble finding information about what to do with this, if I need to like trim it back or something, I don't know. There's like a lot of videos about how to care for a tune, but they're like all in Chinese, and they are not very instructive. It's just like relaxing music and very beautifully shot, but not actually giving you practical information on like what to do. The boysenberry is not doing so hot. Yeah, this seems dead. It's been very, very hot. I wasn't able to water this for like 4 days, and that I think just did it in. The black raspberry is still here, and there's another one coming up in the back there, another bramble over there. So it seems to be doing pretty well. No sign of fruit. However, the other bramble over here, this is the cut leaf evergreen bramble, I think. This one, look at that. Starting to develop little fruits. Over here, the lavender is doing really well. Some nice flowers on it. Looks like it's about ready to be collected if I want to make some tea or something. So this blueberry seems to be holding strong, still doing okay. The other one is gone. I don't know what happened. There's like a little bit of like a root in the bottom, but the branch that was coming out is gone. So maybe there's still some life in the roots, but yeah, it's not holding up so hot. One thing that I've noticed though is a lot of sassafras, and you can tell that you have sassafras because there's like 3 leaves. You have one that looks kind of like a chicken foot, they say, one that looks like a mitten, and one that looks like a normal leaf, like a paddle. So it has all 3 shaped leaves, and I have a ton of these. Some of these are quite big. I've got a rather large tree here. Over here's another one, really tall one there. I mean, that's like 10 feet tall. There's a bunch of them. They just like came out of nowhere. I didn't even notice them. But yeah, I counted about like 40 little sassafras trees like throughout the yard, and I don't want nearly that many. So I'm gonna cut out a lot of them. Well, I got myself a ton of sassafras. So I guess the next step is to prepare it. Well, my fingers now hurt. It's actually been like 2 days. It's been 2 days since I collected the sassafras, and I have been diligently going and getting the bark off and then cleaning it and then cutting it and then putting it on this baking sheet pan. And it took that long because it just hurts. It's a very tedious work to do that, and I got a lot going on, so I didn't want to just like sit down for like 2 hours and do this. I did it in chunks. And by the way, sassafras is, there's a lot to say about it. There's a lot to say about sassafras, and I'm not going to get into it in this video because this is not, like one of my typical deep dive videos. These are meant to be kind of quick and easy for me. So what I think I'm actually going to do though is make a full-length sassafras video at some point for the fruit videos, because sassafras does have a fruit. I'm not sure if it's edible, but it does have a fruit. If anyone knows if sassafras fruit is edible, let me know. Probably is used as medicine. Anyway, I'm getting off the rails here. You could also use the leaves of sassafras as a thickener. Like in New Orleans, you can even get like little shakers full of it for too much money to thicken your gumbo. But yeah, another video. That's another video. What I am going to do though is I'm going to take my sassafras root that I have here. I'm going to take some of it. I'm going to make a concentrate out of it, and I'm going to use that concentrate to make my own root beer, which I am very excited about for a couple of reasons. One, I like root beer. And the second reason is that root beer that you get, it used to be made with sassafras, and now it is not made with real sassafras, and that is due to reasons. I'm going to take about 1 cup of that and add it to boiling water. I'm going to let this boil for 30 minutes. I'm going to put it on a lower heat though. Okay, that beep means it's been 30 minutes. So what I'm going to do is turn off the heat, and I'm going to let this sit on the stove until I remember that I left it there. Okie dokie. So this has been sitting here for like a couple hours. It's cold now, so I'm going to go and strain it into this glass. You can make tea with sassafras, but this is very, very concentrated. I would not want to drink this. It would be far too strong. But I'm just going to use this glass for the moment, and it thickens up. It's kind of like a little bit syrupy now, which kind of makes sense since the leaves are used as a thickening agent. Makes sense that it's got like a little bit of a viscosity. So I've got, I don't know, like 1.5 cups after all of that. I'm going to put that back into the pan. Turn on the heat. Throw in some sugar. I'm going to put about a scant cup. And I'll just let this cook for another minute. This still has some flavor in it, so I'm going to keep this for the time being and maybe try doing a second brew with this. Got my syrup. I'm going to place it in a container. I don't have any jars, so hopefully this glass Tupperware will work. Yeah. Okay, so my idea now is I'm going to put this back on the heat. Add some water. Put back in the sassafras. It still is very pungent, so I think there's still more flavor to be had. What I'm going to do differently though is add licorice. I've got some in my cupboard, so I'm going to take just 2 sticks of licorice, chuck that in there. And also I'm going to take some of my wintergreen plant that I have. Let's just pick, I'm not going to go too crazy with it. I don't know how much that is, like 10 leaves or something. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to crunch these up. Now wintergreen, in case you didn't know, is one of the main flavors in root beer. And it's got a similar kind of taste to sassafras, but it's also its own thing. A little bit minty. Okay, so I'm just gonna crumble it up, put those in there. So I'm a little concerned that the sassafras is going to overpower this. So I'm actually going to take the licorice root. I picked it out of the used stuff, and also the wintergreen leaves. I'm going to put those back in there, and I'm going to let it infuse more into this as the sugar dissolves into it. Time to experiment. So in this glass, I'm going to take 1, 2, 3 of the sassafras root just on its own. And this one is going to get the mixture of sassafras, wintergreen, and licorice. Sassafras, just plain on its own, nothing else. That is a delightful beverage. That's good. I can't believe I dug this out of my yard. It's kind of like root beer, I guess, but you know, root beer's got a lot of stuff in it, and this doesn't have all that stuff. It's just got one of the things. Kind of, because even now root beer doesn't have sassafras in it. Anyway, it's got like a light root beer kind of flavor, but it's kind of like between a root beer and cream soda. Goes down easy. It's good. It is like root beer, but not exactly. But what about this one, which looks exactly the same? Now, this one is the sassafras with the wintergreen and the licorice. I like this one more. It is different, but similar. You know, sassafras is definitely the key component here. That's the main flavor I'm getting. But it is milder because it's a lesser concentration. And I think that helps because I am getting a note of wintergreen. Those two work well together. It's like a woody, minty flavor mixed with the cinnamony root beer kind of flavor from the sassafras. And there is a hint of the licorice. I'm getting a little bit of the licorice, not that much. You know, licorice root, like if you haven't had the pleasure, like I've taken one of those and I've kind of chewed on it. And it has a, you know, licorice-y flavor like you'd expect from like a black jelly bean, but it also has like a sweetness in the root. And that sweetness is not really like sugar. It's more like an aspartame sort of sweetness, or like monk fruit or something. There's something else going on in there. It's not like typical sugar. It's got a bit of that. So this is actually like a little bit sweeter, but in a different kind of way. And it does have that little bit of like a black jelly bean flavor in there, but just a touch. And I gotta say, like, I really like carbonated beverages. I like soda. I like seltzer. I use my little soda stream thing to mix juice and seltzer together because I don't want things that are like too sweet. But I do like my soda. So the fact that I can make root beer and control the sweetness and control the flavors using stuff that I'm growing in my backyard is really fun. Like, I'm looking forward to the future where I am brewing together different sorts of roots and leaves and herbs and spices to make maybe not just root beer, but you know, maybe I'll try to make a cola. Maybe I'll try to make like a Dr. Pepper by using different sorts of roots and stuff. And sassafras, I think, is a key component to have, and I have a bountiful supply. So I'm really happy about this. Hope you thought it was interesting. And yeah, I'm going to go back into the backyard and do some more digging.
All right. So, making some progress. Probably got about 8 feet, and it's been really rough. So, guess what? I got myself another tool. Worth every penny. So I'm about halfway through. I went all the way down and edged out the entire way, so that's done. And just to give an update on my system now, I first go through with the pick and go through like about like 2-3 feet at a time with this thing. And anytime I hit a large root, I use the clippers to clip the root. Then I go through with the shovel and I shovel it into the bucket. And then I take the bucket back up all the merry way to my dirt pile, which, as you can see, is getting quite large. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this, but there it is. So I'm sitting in the yard eating some ice cream because I need a break. Not because of the shoveling. I mean, the shoveling is bad enough as it is, but I've got bad news. So in order to make this path, first I need to dig everything out, which I've been doing. Then I need to tamp it all down with a tamper. Then I put down some crushed stone, tamp that, landscape fabric, then top it off with pea gravel. That is the plan. And the crushed stone came today. About half of this pile is stuff that I don't need. The other half is the stuff I need, which is like stone dust. Wow. It is not my day. It's raining now. It's coming down a little bit, but it's like threatening to pour. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so the stone that I have is far too big. It's about the same size as the stones that I am currently trying to dig out of that path. I've got plenty. I don't need any more, but now I have a giant pile of them in my driveway. I mean, to be fair, it's about half what I want and half what I don't want. Like, mixed in is stone dust, and I guess I should have gotten just stone dust, but yeah, the brochure that I looked at said that the pieces of stone would be no more than 3/4 of an inch. The place that I bought it from offered to give me my money back, and they offered to give me more stone dust if I so desire, but they can't do anything about the pile in my driveway, and if I get anything else from them, I would have to pay for the delivery fee. The delivery fee is like 3 times the cost of what the product is. Yeah, so I told the stone place that I would see how it goes with what I currently have. I'm going to try to use as much of it as I can and proceed that way, but I might need to get another pile thrown into my driveway, and then I have to worry about like how to get rid of these rocks. It's, yeah, like I said earlier, it's very easy to find people giving away rocks on Facebook Marketplace because it's a problem and it costs money to have it pulled away. So yeah, that's me right now. It is the 4th and final week, and as you can see, my hands are filthy. That's because I just got some new friends.
Buckled up for safety.
So I bought pawpaw trees because I'm growing them from seed, yeah, but it's supposed to take as much as like 10 years for you to get fruit from the seed, and I'm just not that patient. So I bought some that are probably like 4 years along. It's still gonna take a long time, but that cutting out 4 years of waiting to get fruit, I figured it was a good idea. So I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna try to grow some from the seed, but also have some that are they're actually suckers from, I believe, a cultivated variety. So that should be good. And I think having like multiple different kinds of pawpaws in my yard is not a bad thing. The thing with pawpaws is you need to have 2 genetically different plants in order for them to cross-pollinate with each other. So the lady that was selling these, they were all coming from the same mother. They were suckers coming from the same mother. I'm like, well, that's not going to work. So she was like, well, I do have another one. It's a different plant, but they're still in the ground. So she actually dug up a sucker while I was there. Very nice lady. And it looked
pretty grim. It's like she gave it to me. She's like, yeah, give it a try. She's like, you take that for free. So it's like, I do not have high hopes for this one. That one, I'm pretty sure that's gonna die. But anyway, I put it in the ground. The other one that I have that has not gone in the ground yet, because she put that in a pot, and she said since she put it in the pot, over like a month has passed, and it's formed new leaves. So that one has taken to the pot. But it's probably going to take me a while to transplant that, and I also would like to do a little bit more research before I do that, because apparently me transplanting plants right now is not a good idea. What I've recently learned is that it's best to transplant plants when they are dormant, so before they create the leaves for the year. So if you do it like the beginning of spring, or I think end of fall, when they've lost their leaves, that's the time to do it, because they're directing like all this energy towards the leaves and fruit, and that's not a good time to interrupt that. So if you transplant a plant during that time, it is more likely that you are going to kill it, or it can go into shock. I did it anyway, so I'm going to kind of just like hope that this works. I might hold on to the ones in the pot until they do lose their leaves and go dormant, and then maybe I'll put them in the ground then. The other one I got is a gumi. This one I got from a guy on Facebook Marketplace who was very, very nice, and turned out that he watches the channel, so hello if you're watching this. I hope I don't kill your plant. And what was cool with him is that he had a whole ton of exotic plants growing in his yard in New York City, which is great. So he's grown like guavas and dragon fruits and all this stuff by just kind of keeping very close care of it and keeping it covered and heated and everything. I'm very happy anytime I see that. So this one is not a tropical plant. This is something that, is actually fairly resistant. Gumi berries are a really exciting thing. I'm happy to have this for several reasons. Number one, they can act as a living fence. When I dug out the Japanese barberry, that left a big space between me and the next yard over, and this can act as a living fence. It like grows kind of like sideways. And unlike its cousin, the autumn olive, which is invasive, this one doesn't spread like too much. So it's not going to go like into the other yard. Ideally, it's going to just kind of keep control, but also can spread to make more fence, which is good. Also, it creates a delightful fruit that I really like. They're a bit sour and astringent, but they're good for making like juices and jams and stuff. So I dug a hole very big for this one, put the root ball in, and he was growing this in a raised planter, so I got like the whole root. Like he just like lifted up out of his planter and gave it to me. So I think because of that, and it's coming with the original soil it was in, I feel like this one stands a good chance for survival in my yard. Yeah, so I've got a living fence that produces fruit. Oh, and it also can tolerate shade, which I've got lots of. So that is very, very good. So those are my new plants. My idea is to have trees going along my path that I am building on either side. So I put the one pawpaw in there. And ideally, as this path goes on, it'll be just lined with fruiting trees. And that would be really cool. Speaking of the path, I was hoping to have this path finished this month, which shows just how naive I was. But I didn't realize there was going to be like so much rock, so much roots, and so much difficulty in digging this out. But there's still a lot more that needs to be done. I still need to finish digging it out, which I feel like I can do that this month. But as far as like evening it out, laying down stone, putting down everything, that's just gonna have to wait. But good first step. One thing that I've noticed with my path, though, is that the feral cats have been using it, you guessed it, as a litter box. So yeah, I walked down the path this morning and saw a big heaping pile of crap in the middle of the path, which I won't show it to you, but I have to deal with that now. I love them. I love the feral cats. They're adorable. I appreciate them. I'm glad that they're here. I want them to be happy. I don't want them shitting on everything, okay? So I'm a little bit worried that they're going to see anytime I dig up a hole to plant a tree or anything, and they're going to see that as loose soil that they can poop in. That's something that I'm worried about. So yeah, the two plants that I put in today, I put little barriers around them to keep them out. But, you know, cats will do what they want to do, right? And I also hope that once I put down the pea gravel, they're not going to see that as something that they can poop in. I feel like that's probably going to be okay. I think they like the loose soil because it's kind of like litter, but I am a little bit worried for the future of my trees. But anyway, I should probably hack away a little bit more at the path. And it is done. Well, at least the first part of the path is done. The hardest part, I think, is done. I hope is done. And that is just like dig the thing out. And I went through nothing but rocks and roots, but I got it all out, and now it looks like something's happening. It looks like something's happening. We're getting there. And it is June 29th right now. I'm going to take the next couple days off. So normally I would be filming the ending, like at the very beginning of the next month in July. It will be, but yeah, I'm not going to do anything else today or tomorrow. But come July, I am going to start with the next step, and that is to skim it all out, make sure it's level, tamp it, lay down stone, lay down landscape fabric, put down pins to keep it in place, put the stone edging back in, and then lay pea gravel on top. I think that if I really try in July, I'll be able to finish the entire project. And that's about it. So if you enjoyed this video, let me know, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, please. And yeah, I will see you next time. Bye-bye. I would like to give a big thank you to my mega patrons. That includes Smarter Every Day, Bill T, Allison and Clara, Joseph McCorkle, and Jay Fleischman. Patreon and also YouTube memberships is how I do all of the things here on the channel. So if you are interested in learning more about how you can support the channel and get some cool bonuses in return, for instance, there is one where you can get exclusive videos that are not available anywhere else. Information is down in the description below. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.